Los Angeles County has been leading the nation in the number of COVID deaths for several weeks now. Just this week, they surpassed more than 17,000 total COVID deaths, with Latinos carrying a disproportionate burden of those deaths. And more than 1.1 million positive cases have been identified overall. But thankfully, the state is finally turning a corner as infection rates continue to drop. One outlier in all of this has been the city of Long Beach, that has already distributed more than 30,000 first doses to its residents. Joining us now to discuss the impact on Latinos, vaccine rollout, and reopening schools is Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia. Mayor, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
I want to start, of course, by extending our condolences. We know that you've lost both of your parents to COVID. You are Latino yourself. You're seeing the alarming rates of death in this particular community, more than 1,000% increase since November. How has this happened, and what steps have you taken in your city to make sure that this tragic loss of Latino lives is diminished?
I think the most important thing to recognize is that because so many essential workers are Latino, they've been on the front lines this entire time. It really, for us, we've been focused on this since day one, when we did our massive testing outreach early on, and that we continue to do. We not only did these mass clinics, but we had mobile clinics go out into undocumented communities, folks that spoke Spanish, bilingual folks. And so we put those in neighborhoods where people felt more comfortable in going to get tested, and the same is happening with the vaccine. So we're deploying mobile clinics. We have programs that are in Spanish as well. And we don't hyper-focus on some of the cultural needs and awareness around the Latino population and how they relate to vaccination or to testing, we're going to continue to lose a lot more lives. So there's got to be a focus around that. There's got to be a focus around vaccination of essential workers, which will in turn help the Latino population as well.
And despite being part of Los Angeles County, your city has its own health department. How beneficial do you think that that's been in having a successful vaccine rollout? And has the county reached out to you for help and guidance?
The county's always been partners for us. We do have our own health department, which is very helpful. And Long Beach is a big community. I mean, we're roughly the same population as Atlanta, Georgia. It's a big California city with similar challenges. But what we've been able to do is move through the vaccine really quickly. I think that when vaccines started coming into the city, we didn't overly plan, how much vaccine was going to go out over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We said, how much vaccine can we do today and tomorrow and get it out immediately? And our approach was, if we run out of vaccine, that's a good problem to have. And so we have vaccinated our healthcare workers. They're on their second dose now, paramedics, firefighters, police officers, emergency workers. And we're the first city in the state to start vaccinating food workers, as well as teachers, educators, not just at K-12, but also at our community college and our universities. So we're farther along than most of the state, but it's also in part because we do have this health department, so we can make decisions really quickly.
Now, right now, your city is at about 50-50, with half of first doses given to minority groups and the other half to white residents, most of them who are over 65. What kind of essential resources have you provided for the Asian, Black, Latino, and Pacific Islander communities to both combat misinformation and make sure that they have access to vaccines?
I think the first thing we have been involved with is work with community groups on the ground. So we have brought in, provided resources for community groups to go out and do a lot of the work with us as partners. And so we have at our vaccination clinics, we have community organizations, we have nonprofits, folks that speak in Spanish or Khmer or Tagalog. We're working with a lot of our African-American Black churches as well. And so we do and have actually funded groups on the ground to do this work. We're ensuring that we have multiple languages in our communications and we get out to folks as well. And that's both in our hotlines, online, and in knocking on doors. And we're going out in neighborhoods and talking to people on the ground as well. So all of that is going to be really important as we move through all these tiers and phases of the vaccine.
And let's shift to schools for a moment. You have the fourth largest district in California, and you're still all virtual. What's the plan to start reopening schools like in your community and others and get them open safely?
Well, I think it's really important that we focus on vaccinations for educators. Teachers want to be safe. They want to make sure that their kids in the classrooms are safe and that the kids' parents are safe when those kids go home. And so vaccination has to be at the forefront of school reopenings, and teachers deserve to be vaccinated. Beyond that, do classrooms have enough PPE? Are ventilation systems in place? So it's not just about reopen classrooms and get folks in there and not have safety precautions in place. We have vaccinated about 6,500 teachers and educators in Long Beach. That's going to put us ahead of the game when it comes to how we reopen safely, but it has to be done in a partnership with our teachers, with staff, and school safety sites. And so we're working through that right now, but I think we are a little bit ahead of some of the other jurisdictions.
All right, sounds good. Mayor Garcia, we thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.